Every one of us has faced it. That invisible enemy called laziness. It creeps in quietly, telling you to rest for just 5 more minutes, to delay your tasks until tomorrow, to choose comfort over effort. And slowly, without you even realizing it, laziness begins to control your life. This is the story of a young man who let laziness rule over him. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but he kept postponing his goals. His books gathered dust, his dreams faded, and his confidence grew weaker. Deep down, he knew he was capable of much more, but laziness had wrapped him in chains. One day, life presented him with a challenge, an opportunity to prove himself, to show the world and himself that he was not born to be average. But to rise to this challenge, he had to make a choice: remain the lazy boy who wasted his potential, or defeat his laziness and unlock the powerful, determined young man within him. This story will take you through his struggle, his turning point, and his victory. It will remind you that laziness is not just a habit. It's an enemy that steals time, opportunities, and growth. And it will show you that no matter how deep you've fallen into comfort, the fire to rise again is always within you. In a small town, there lived a young man named Aaron. On the surface, he was like everyone else, someone with big dreams and endless potential. But deep inside, he struggled with an invisible enemy that slowly consumed his life: laziness. Each morning, when the sun rose and the world was ready to chase new opportunities, Aaron stayed in bed, convincing himself that he needed just 5 more minutes of rest. Those 5 minutes turned into hours, and hours into wasted days. His books sat untouched on his desk, his unfinished plans remained in notebooks, and his heart, though filled with ambition, was caged by excuses. He told himself he would start tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. As time passed, the weight of laziness grew heavier. Aaron's parents tried to encourage him. His friends invited him to join in productive work, but he always found an excuse. Deep down, he felt guilt every night as he lay in bed. He knew he had the ability to rise, to achieve, to make something of himself. But instead of acting, he drowned in comfort. He scrolled endlessly on his phone, stared at the ceiling dreaming of a better future, but took no steps toward it. The mirror became his enemy, for whenever he looked at himself, he saw not the person he wanted to be, but the lazy man he had allowed himself to become. One afternoon, while lying idly and avoiding his responsibilities, Aaron overheard a conversation outside his window. 2 of his friends were talking about an upcoming competition in the town, a chance for young people to prove themselves, to showcase their skills, and to earn respect and recognition. Something inside Aaron stirred. He imagined himself on that stage, applauded by the crowd, admired by his peers. But almost immediately, another voice in his head whispered, "It's too late. You're not prepared. You're too lazy to even try." He closed his eyes, battling the 2 voices, the voice of dreams and the voice of laziness. That night, sleep refused to come. He tossed and turned, haunted by the thought that life was slipping through his fingers, while he wasted precious time. In frustration, he sat up, looked around his messy room, and whispered to himself, "I can't go on like this. If I don't change now, I will lose everything." At that moment, he realized that laziness was not just a harmless habit, it was an enemy stealing his time, his energy, and his future. He clenched his fists and made a silent promise: "I will defeat my laziness. I will prove myself." The next morning was harder than he expected. His body begged him to stay in bed. His mind tempted him to relax. But Aaron forced himself up. He cleaned his room, stacked his dusty books neatly, and took the first step toward discipline. At first, his efforts were shaky. He felt the pull of comfort every hour, the desire to stop and slip back into his old ways. But he remembered the competition and the promise he made to himself. Every time he wanted to quit, he reminded himself that each small action was a strike against laziness. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, Aaron began to change. He woke up earlier, dedicated hours to reading and practicing his skills, and pushed himself to keep moving forward even when he felt tired. His friends noticed a change. They no longer saw the lazy boy who wasted time, but a young man determined to rise above his weaknesses. His parents, once worried, now watched with pride as their son fought his inner battles with courage. Aaron realized that the true fight was never outside, it was always within. When the day of the competition finally arrived, Aaron stood backstage, nervous but ready. His heart pounded, his palms sweated, but he no longer felt chained by laziness. Instead, he felt the strength of every choice he had made to fight against comfort and excuses. As he stepped onto the stage, he remembered the countless mornings when he had forced himself to rise, the hours he had spent practicing when his body begged for rest, and the endless battles he had fought with his own mind. The performance began, and Aaron poured his heart into it. Every word, every action was a reflection of his journey from laziness to determination. The audience watched with awe, and when he finished, the hall erupted in applause. In that moment, Aaron realized that the victory was not just about winning the competition, it was about winning the battle against himself. He had proved to the world that he was capable, but more importantly, he had proved it to himself. As he stood there, smiling at the cheering crowd, he thought back to the nights of excuses and wasted time. He remembered the chains of laziness that once held him down, and then he looked at the young man he had become, a fighter, a believer, someone who chose effort over excuses. Laziness had almost stolen his life, but with determination, he had taken it back. Aaron's story is not just his alone, it is the story of anyone who has ever struggled with laziness, anyone who has ever postponed their dreams for tomorrow. His journey reminds us that laziness may feel comfortable in the moment, but it slowly steals everything valuable from us: time, confidence, and opportunities. To defeat laziness, one must start small, one must push against resistance, and one must never surrender to the voice that says not today. The truth is, success is never about talent alone. It is about showing up every day, choosing discipline over comfort, and refusing to let laziness decide your future. Aaron's transformation proves that no matter how long you have been trapped in excuses, you can still break free. The first step may be the hardest, but it is also the most powerful, because once you rise from your bed of comfort, you step into the world of possibility. If you are listening to this story and feel the weight of laziness in your own life, remember Aaron. Remember how he struggled, how he almost gave up, but chose instead to fight. His victory can be your victory. The battle is not outside, it is within. Defeat your laziness, and you will discover a strength you never knew you had. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Do not wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is built by the actions you take now. Laziness will whisper to you, rest a little longer, delay a little more, but you must answer with action. Stand up, prove yourself, and show the world and yourself that you were born for more than comfort. You were born to rise. Aaron's life changed because he decided to fight. Yours can too. Laziness is not stronger than you, it only wins if you let it. So rise, act, and never let excuses hold you back. The fire of discipline, once lit, can burn brighter than any obstacle. Defeat your laziness, prove yourself, and let your life become the powerful story that inspires others.